What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you solo dolo. I apologize for the delay, but it is episode number 765 of this here podcast. I got a lot to talk about as I spent most of the weekend at the bank, and I'm talking Citizens Bank Park, baby. I got to take in a bunch of Alumni Weekend this weekend, myself and CFO Margie. It was a blast. We're going to talk all about it. We're going to talk about the Underground Circuit live show that happened at the F1 Arcade, because I love informing you guys about things that are going on with this company when I get an opportunity to. And we'll talk whatever the heck else comes to my mind. But before we get into everything, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. We're on every social platform. It really helps us continue to grow and reach new audiences. So continue following us on the socials. And like I mentioned on the tweet machine, when we get to 4K on there, we're doing a Dewani giveaway. So you don't want to miss out on that. So go follow us on the tweet machine as I record this on Dewani's birthday. Shout out to my GOAT. Happy birthday to the queen herself. She is the absolute best, and genuinely, this here little company would not be anywhere remotely close to where we are right now if it wasn't for the help, support, and love and dedication that Dewani has to just being part of this universe and being part of our ecosystem. She is the best. So happy birthday to my GOAT, Dewani Soraya. She is the absolute best. I absolutely love you, and I hope today has been the best birthday yet. And speaking of birthdays, it is my former co-host and my brother-in-law, Matt Castorina's birthday as I record this. Happy birthday to my brother, my only brother that I do indeed have. Truly the best in the business. Miss you on these mics here, but I hope you're celebrating one hell of a birthday, and it was the best one yet, my man. Appreciate you, love you, and what a birthday day it is indeed. You can follow me on the socials if you so choose at KBIZZL311 on Twitter, KBIZZLE11 on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the pod, subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping this show continue to grow. Plus, it helps all of our shows on the network continue to grow. You can find every single Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast on Apple and Spotify as well. So keep on subscribing to every show on the network, of course. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show every single week, twice a week. Full video episodes of every show on our network. Clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It's all on our YouTube channel. We are currently 10 subscribers away from 1,100, which means when we get to 1,100, Moonshot Mania merch goes live on our merch store. So you don't want to miss out on that. Keep subscribing. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment in the comment section and click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. And the only show that is not on our YouTube channel is The House Show with Pat Pitts, an Underground Sports Philadelphia original. That exists on its very own YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/@officialhouseshow. Each and every week, Patty Pitts taking voicemail calls from all of you wrestling fans out there. SummerSlam happened this weekend. Call in to the house phone, speakpipe.com/officialhouseshow, and hit up Patty Pitts' phone so that he can keep driving his content bus to the moon. Go subscribe to that channel, though. It will really help us out as well. And this show, guys, is proudly presented by the City of Vineland, and the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city, Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast.
I'm Mayor Anthony Finucci. If you're looking for the right location, think Vineland, New Jersey. Our pro-business approach is supported by financial incentives, workforce development programs, and other resources which can give your business a competitive edge. Whether you're starting a new business or expanding to new markets, our business environment, infrastructure, accessibility, and quality of life make Vineland an ideal location. More information about how we can help your business grow can be found at vinelandcity.org. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I spent most of my weekend at Citizens Bank Park, and boy, oh boy, was it a doozy. We had a trade happen since the last time we recorded, and a whole bunch to catch up on. And the whole weekend recap here is truly a spectacle, and it's my tip of the cap, quite honestly. My tip of the cap is breaking down this weekend at CBP, and it's brought to you by our friends at 47. Guys, there's truly no better brand out there. I'm rocking the matching set right now. I got the matching 47 hitch-style hat with the shirt. The shirt is absolutely fire. There's an even bigger Phillies logo. I'm going to turn around for you guys if you're watching on YouTube. Ready? Bang. Bang. Shirt is absolutely fire. This set reminds me of like old school MTV that I like grew up watching before school and getting to watch music videos and TRL and all that good stuff. But 47 is truly the best in the game. They are dropping new things on their website. What feels like every single day, new collections. We're brand teammates with Bryce Harper as he's repping the 47 Carhartt collab collection.
So what we getting done today?
The usual.
My mama told me before I left my town. My mama told me.
Perfect.
I'm going home.
Guys, don't sleep on 47. They are truly the best in the game. I've been rocking 47 for like over a decade as well. I've been wearing it since I used to work at PacSun back in the day. Okay? Use our link in the description. Shop with 47. Join the 47 family. Just create an account on their website. It's free to do. And you get free shipping for joining the 47 family. Who doesn't love free shipping? If it's free, it's for me. And when you join the 47 family, you rack up points on your account, which goes towards free merchandise, baby. And again, if it's free, it's for me. So use our link in the description to shop with 47. Join the 47 family, create an account, and get free shipping on all orders with our friends at 47. And we thank them for being a proud partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. This weekend was absolutely magical at Citizens Bank Park. And before I even get into the games and the experience of Jhoan Duran in person, I got to talk about, and I know we do this every single year on this show, and I've done it for years even before the podcast started, the way that the Philadelphia Phillies put on a spectacle, whether it's for a retirement ceremony, a Wall of Fame ceremony like we had this weekend, whether it's somebody going into the Hall of Fame, a career retirement, a jersey retirement, even if it's an award, an end-of-year award, a Gold Glove, a Silver Slugger, a Cy Young, an MVP, whatever it may be, the Phillies know how to put on a show. And if there's one weekend that I cannot suggest highly enough going and experiencing it all 3 days, because every single day is so different and there's so many different aspects to a given weekend this time of year, if you can afford to do it, get tickets for all 3 games of Phillies Alumni Weekend. This is not even an ad. This is me just from being a fan-to-fan conversation. The Phillies Alumni Weekend is one of the coolest experiences you will ever have at a baseball stadium. It is a ceremony unlike any other. All of your favorite past Phillies legends will be in attendance, and it's something like that just brings back your deepest childhood core memories, like from all the times, me growing up, at the Vet when I was really young, and then obviously Citizens Bank Park opening in 2004, which was like my core childhood. Like I have obvious vivid memories of going to the bank. But all the legends are there, young, old, in between, and it's really cool to experience. And if you are able to, I highly recommend going with one of, if not both of your parents, because you both or all of you get to experience your era of Phillies baseball, and it just means something different to everyone in the stadium. Seeing Mike Schmidt for some people is their childhood, where seeing someone like Chase Utley for me is unbelievable. Seeing Ryan Howard, seeing Raul Ibanez, Pedro Martinez, Mike Lieberthal, like that's my era of just like loving Phillies baseball as a kid and growing up into being a teenager. And it's just such a special thing, and being able to see the legends that your parents grew up rooting for, whether it's Schmidt, John Kruk, Steve Carlton, Greg Lazinski, and the list goes on and on. Larry Boa, like it's truly incredible. And this weekend, Ed Wade and Jimmy Rollins getting inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame really meant something to me. And as soon as I saw back in March that Jimmy Rollins was going into the Wall of Fame, and this is nothing to discredit Ed Wade, but Ed Wade was not on the field, but he did have a huge part in my childhood being as successful as it was. So I'll forever love Ed Wade. But Jimmy Rollins in particular was one of a few athletes as a kid who sparked my interest in wanting to be a professional athlete. Like I feel like everyone growing up has those moments of I want to be like that guy when I grow up. Jimmy Rollins was that for me with baseball. I wanted to be Jimmy Rollins. I wanted to emulate everything he did on and off a baseball diamond. He was just so cool to me. He had swagger like nobody else. He was fast. He played great defense. He'd hit home runs. He could hit the ball to all sides of the field. And he was a leader, first and foremost. Even all of the stats and accolades that he racked up, Jimmy Rollins was a quintessential leader and a face of a team and wanted to lead the Phillies of that era to the promised land, which he did. And I'll never forget being in 7th grade and hearing we're the team to beat in the NL East. And that is like me vividly remembering Phillies baseball. Like I remember bits and pieces here growing up, obviously. But 2006, 2007 was like the start of me being like, wow, I love Phillies baseball. Like I deeply love it. And I remember running home from middle school because we had just moved to this house that I live in now. And my middle school is right down the street. And there would be days where, it was down the stretch, September, October. And I remember running home from school, swinging open the door, making sure I got, at the time, Comcast Sportsnet on, now NBC Sports Philadelphia. I remember as quickly as I could getting it on TV so I could watch Jimmy Rollins, so I could watch Chase Utley, Carlos Ruiz, Cole Hamels, Ryan Howard, Pat Burrell, Aaron Rowand, Shane Victorino. Like, being able to watch those guys and just looking up to them as these larger-than-life celebrity, like, gods. They were gods to me. I looked upon that era of Phillies baseball like no other, and Jimmy Rollins was my quintessential, to this day, my favorite Philly to ever play. I don't, there's so many Phillies that I love. Cole Hamels, Chase Utley, Ryan Howard. Victorino, Chooch, Cliff Lee, Roy Halladay, to now Bryce Harper, Alec Boehm, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, pay the man, Brandon Martin. Like, there's so many Phillies now. But Jimmy Rollins, there's nobody better. And Jimmy was my idol, like, truly. And as soon as I saw in March that the Phillies were putting him into the Wall of Fame, I said I have to be there. That is a game I cannot miss. I don't care when it is, what I'm doing. I will be at Citizens Bank Park for Jimmy Rollins Wall of Fame night. And there I was. Ryan Howard delivering the speech to induct Jimmy into the Wall of Fame. Jimmy getting his Phillies alumni jersey with the Wall of Fame patch on it. The video board montage of Jimmy Rollins highlights and former and Phillies employees and players and Mike Trout and Derek Jeter in the video. And listening to Jimmy Rollins give his speech, which was not scripted, which I love about Jimmy. And with Jimmy, too, he stuck out to me because my favorite number my entire life has been number 11. Because growing up playing soccer, everyone wanted to be number 10. Everyone wanted to be number 9. Like, those are the two numbers that everyone clamored for. And I said, I want to be one better. I want to be one better than that. And so I always gravitated towards number 11. And seeing any professional athlete, to this day, if you wear number 11, like, I have a sign of respect for you. And real ones know Jimmy Rollins didn't initially wear number 11. He wore number 29, which is my second favorite number because I was born on October 29th. So 29 and 11 are like my two favorite numbers, and my favorite baseball player ever just so happened to wear both of them. And Jimmy Rollins, he was larger than life to me. And, him being on that World Series team that won the World Series on my birthday and being the leader of that team and the moments that Jimmy provided, I was sitting up in the 400 level, everyone, and I was like holding back tears, and at one point I had to wipe tears away. And I don't know if my mom noticed or not. I was with CFO Margie on Friday night, and I was emotional. Like, seeing the highlight clips of Jimmy and the double plays he and Chase would turn and flip to first to Ryan Howard, and just the moments, 09 against Broxton, his first career hit, the 2020 bajillion season, 20 triples, 20 doubles, 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases. Like, Jimmy Rollins, like, it's so difficult to, like, even put into words how meaningful someone I've never met means to me. And I say that as a 31-year-old, almost 32-year-old here. And Jimmy Rollins is someone I will adore, love, care about for the rest of my life. And I will be there when he gets enshrined into Cooperstown. I will be there when the Phillies inevitably retire number 11 for J-Roll. And when Jimmy Rollins was, like, traded to the Dodgers, when the Phillies finally kind of cut ties with the 08 champs and the team of the run, it broke a piece of my heart seeing Jimmy put on a different uniform. And when he came back as a special advisor to the team, it was like, wow, Jimmy's back. Okay? Like, he's ours. He's not the Dodgers. He's certainly not the White Sox. Jimmy Rollins was born to just be a Philly. Even just as a guy from California, from the Bay Area, like, Jimmy Rollins encapsulated what it meant to be a Philadelphia athlete. And I know there were moments where certain fans were pissed that he wasn't running out pitches or whatever it may be. I didn't care about that. Jimmy Rollins was a quintessential leader. He loved playing in front of the Philadelphia fans. He was passionate. He was confident. Like, that's the thing. He wasn't cocky. He was confident. And there's a huge difference. And I'll forever remember we're the team to beat in the NL East. and chasing down the Mets in September in 07 and 08. Like, Jimmy Rollins shaped my childhood and is a huge, huge reason why I'm so passionate about Phillies baseball to this day. And to see Jimmy receive one of the highest honors that the Philadelphia Phillies organization can bestow upon somebody, it brought me to tears. I was emotional, and it really just like put in perspective how important Jimmy Rollins is to the Phillies organization, how important he will always be to the Phillies organization. And that goes without saying. Ed Wade in the Phillies front office and Ed Wade going in with Jimmy is so special because he drafted Jimmy in the second round of that 1996 MLB draft. And without Ed Wade, we don't have 2008. Without Ed Wade, we don't have the run that this core of Phillies baseball went on from 07 to 11. And without Ed Wade, we don't have Jim Thome as a Phillies legend. We don't have him as part of Phillies lexicon. You know, I know Jim Thome is remembered far more for being part of the Cleveland organization, for being part of the White Sox. Jim Thome is as important to Phillies lore as he is to those two teams, and it's simply because without Jim Thome, the allure of Citizens Bank Park doesn't grow. Without Jim Thome, we don't hit on some of the free agents and trades. Like, I genuinely am of the belief if the Phillies don't sign Jim Thome when they signed him, they don't go and trade for Cliff Lee in 09. They don't go and trade for Roy Halladay the following offseason. They don't go and trade for Roy Oswalt. They don't go and sign Cliff Lee again. They aren't able to trade for Hunter Pence if it's not for Jim Thome coming to Philadelphia, setting the tone of what Philadelphia is as a baseball market, as a baseball city. That doesn't happen without Jim Thome. And Jim Thome doesn't happen without Ed Wade. And I know Ed Wade, growing up, you know, when you're a kid, you hear people bashing Ed Wade, you know, 06, 07, 08, when Pat Gillett comes in, and Pat Gillett kind of flipped the switch running the baseball team. Ed Wade had a method to his madness. And, you know, as you get older, you realize how truly important Ed Wade was to this organization. And I'm so happy he was bestowed with the honor of being a Wall of Famer. He absolutely deserved it. And somebody who's a Pennsylvania guy, he made a distinct era of Phillies baseball possible with his brain, with his plan, and the method to his madness. And I'm so happy that these guys are in the Wall of Fame now. You know, Ryan Howard and Chase Utley will be next. Victorino will be next. Raul Ibanez will be on that Wall of Fame for sure. Cole Hamels will be on there. Cliff Lee should be on there. You know, there's a lot of guys. Carlos Ruiz. There will be a lot of that era of Phillies players on that Wall of Fame, and that doesn't happen without Ed Wade. So a big congratulations and a tip of the cap to not only the Phillies organization for just another job well done with just an impeccable ceremony, but to Jimmy Rollins, to Ed Wade, their families, their loved ones, and seeing them immortalized forever in Phillies history is something very, very special. But the Phillies took care of business this weekend. This was the best series win of the year for me. You know, I know the Phillies played the Dodgers in April, and I know they played the Mets in June, and they've had some big series wins so far this year, no doubt about it. But a weekend where you have the pomp and circumstance of Jimmy Rollins coming back and having his name forever enshrined in franchise history again, along with Ed Wade, and having Phillies legends in the ballpark all weekend long. You also have one of the best teams in the American League coming into town in the Detroit Tigers. And you have Tarek Skubal pitching in this weekend series that the Phillies just had. And the Phillies did their part. They took 2 out of 3 from the Detroit Tigers. And to me, the way that they played, the way that they won, the way that they battled even in a loss, proved to me that this was the most important and best series win of the season so far. They battle, in Friday's game. Ranger Suarez pitching. I was in the building. It was quite the spectacle of an evening, if you will. And Ranger comes in, seems like he's dialed, and then the 3rd inning rolls around, and the Tigers hit a 3-run home run. Gleyber Torres. And then we're wondering, what are they going to do? They can't lose on Jimmy Rollins and Ed Wade Wall of Fame night. They're getting no hit through 5 innings. And then the Phillies come through in the 7th inning and drive in some runs. They play a little small ball and they catch up, and it's 3-3. And then the Tigers get another home run, and it's 4-3, just like that. And then the Phillies in the bottom of the 8th inning battle back, score 2 runs. Bryce Harper gets thrown out of the game for arguing a check swing, and I don't blame him one bit for arguing. That umpire was a coward and should be treated as such always. But the fact that the Phillies battled and made it a game when it felt like things were just out of hand. Jack Flaherty was making them look silly. And Ranger made one mistake in the game, and that was that 3-run home run. He goes 7 innings, 5 strikeouts, 4 hits, 3 earned runs on the home run. Ryan Kirkland gave up the home run to Wenzel Perez. But here's the thing. They battled back. They made the environment raucous. That place, when the Phillies battled back and scored their 3 runs in the 7th inning, Citizens Bank Park was rocking. The place was shaking. And then the life gets sucked out of it in the top of the 8th when Perez hits the home run. And then they're battling back again. Harrison Bader comes up for his first at-bat in a Phillies uniform. Place is going nuts. He walks up to Nokia by Drake. Who's calling that shit? Bader gets a walk. And the Phillies just played methodical small ball. And they're able to come back and win on the back of Jhoan Duran. The very first appearance in a Phillies uniform for the Durantula. Let me say this, okay? Get your tickets now. Any Phillies game you can afford to go to. Get your tickets because Jhoan Duran, for as amazing as a pitcher as he is, I loved the dude when he was in Minnesota. I didn't think it was going to be feasible for him to get traded to Philadelphia, and here we are. The spectacle and the pomp and circumstance and the show that is put on when Jhoan Duran comes out of the bullpen and runs out onto that field is like nothing I have ever seen in person at a baseball game. I had chills. I felt like I was 9,000 degrees from excitement. I lost my voice for a hot minute. And the stadium was rocking. The bank was buzzing like it was the middle of Red October. The light show, the music, the energy from the music, the graphics, the fire, the connectivity of the video boards, the ribbon boards, the Liberty Bell, the crowd energy. It felt like Red October on August 1st at Citizens Bank Park. There's a clip that NBC Sports Philadelphia put out of Duran running out, and you see Harrison Bader, his former teammate with the Twins, just staring at him. And we tweeted it. Find someone who looks at you like Harrison Bader looks at Jhoan Duran running out of the bullpen. And then Duran comes in and throws 4 pitches, and his time on the mound was less than what it took for the entire spectacle of a performance of him running out of the bullpen was, which is just hysterical. He didn't throw a single fastball, but was hitting 99 consistently on his splitter. And the Phillies win 5-4 in just an unbelievable game. And I said, so far, their best win of the season. Hands down. And I know I just brought up Harrison Bader. We haven't been able to talk about that. The Phillies traded for Harrison Bader at the deadline. I love the fit. He's a guy that's been rumored to be a Philadelphia Philly for a long time, whether it be free agency or trades. I think he's going to fit the vibe of the clubhouse incredibly well. Incredibly well. And he's, statistics-wise, their best outfielder right now. I know Brandon Marsh is here, and I love Brandon Marsh, but there's some numbers that Harrison Bader has an upper hand, and I want to see both of those guys in the lineup with Nicky C, man, in right field. And Harrison Bader wearing number 2, he's a stud, man. He's a stud. I'm a big fan of Harrison Bader, and I think he's going to be a fan favorite here down the stretch for the Fightins. They didn't really have to give up much. I know a lot of people were bummed about one of the prospects. He was a top 15 prospect, top 12 prospect. I need to win a World Series. And if you're not on the timeline trajectory to Fightins right now, sorry about it. But a complete team win. Everyone rallied together. Whether it was the pitching initially, when they're down 3-0, to then the bats coming to life in the 7th. Bats doing it again. Jhoan Duran slamming the door shut. They were able to just come together and put together an incredible win to honor Jimmy Rollins and Ed Wade and their induction to the Wall of Fame. They lose the Wheeler-Skubal showdown. Zach Wheeler took a little of the burden there. He said he told Rob Thompson he wanted to go back out into the game when he could have taken him out and may have left Wheeler out too long. Wheeler's been going through a little bit of a weird spot right now, and I hope everything's good. He's going to figure it out, but kind of a weird couple games for old Zach Wheeler. But the Phillies lose that one 7-5. But what I liked in that game was they battled back. They didn't quit. They were down 2-0. Then they were down 5-0. Then they make it 5-3. And then it's 7-3. And then it's 7-5. And they end up losing 7-5. But they battled and they never quit. They never just gave up. They didn't look like they were taking just lackadaisical approach at the plate. It wasn't lackadaisical swings at the plate. They never quit, and I liked that about that, even in a loss. And I'm not a moral victories person, but that was huge, that they didn't show signs of quitting. And then we were at Sunday Night Baseball, myself and CFO Margie, and what a pitching masterclass. What a pitching masterclass by Christopher Sanchez. 8 innings, 5 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, 84 pitches. Major League Baseball had the audacity to tweet before this game asking if Christopher Sanchez is the most underrated pitcher in baseball. You mean the guy that you didn't make a National League All-Star this year? I think Christopher Sanchez is perfectly rated. Underappreciated? Absolutely. Christopher Sanchez is a top 3 pitcher in the National League this year. by proxy making him a top 5, top 6, top 7 pitcher in all baseball this year. He's your number 2 starter in October for games like this, for games like he had when he pitched his complete game. To go 8 innings and throw 84 pitches, just unbelievable. Unbelievable dominance from Christopher Sanchez. Phillies played small ball in the second inning. Max Kepler with an RBI ground out. And then Kyle Schwarber. Schwarbam. To get a little insurance. And then we got Jhoan Duran once again. Just an absolute specimen. Jhoan Duran on Sunday Night Baseball for the world to see. Not only comes out of the bullpen to his immaculate bullpen, entrance. He broke the record for fastest pitch by a Philadelphia Philly at Citizens Bank Park. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, 5 different times. 5 times he broke the record. He hit 103 miles an hour on the radar gun. 102.7, 102.5 twice, and 102.4. Jhoan Duran has a chance to be the nastiest closer the Phillies organization has ever seen. We have not had a closer like the Durantula since Jonathan Papelbon. And the crazy part is, Jonathan Papelbon, we didn't need him when he was here. This team was not good when he was here. And now we have a closer who is elite, who can close out games and strike fear into opposing hitters. An incredible weekend for the Fightins. 2 out of 3 from one of the best teams in the American League. We got introduced to our all-world closer and had a fun time doing it. A fun time doing it. And I can guarantee you, we are going to be working on some Jhoan Duran merchandise with our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. You guys can go to phiapparel.co, use code UNDERGROUND when you go to checkout, shop all their designs, shop all your Underground Sports Philadelphia merch. phiapparel.co, code UNDERGROUND. Get you 10% off your next merch order from our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Again, phiapparel.co, code UNDERGROUND, 10% off your next merch order from our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Stand out in the crowd with the official merch partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia, baby. And there's no better way to celebrate a successful Phillies weekend than with an ice-cold Kenwood beer, okay? It's the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. You guys can go to kenwoodbeer.com, use the Kenny Finder, see who's got Kenwood beer on tap. Kenwood beer on tap, in the Philadelphia, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Maryland, Delaware areas. You can also find Kenwood beer at your local liquor stores in those markets. And if you're going to the Man Center at all the rest of this summer, you can get Tall Boy Kenny's at the Man all summer long. That's kenwoodbeer.com once again, guys. Must be 21 or older to do so. And as always, please drink responsibly. Last couple things here. On Sunday morning, we had our very first Underground Circuit watch party for the Hungarian GP at the F1 Arcade in Philadelphia. A wildly wildly successful event. Thank you to everyone who came out to the watch party and to the live podcast that we had afterwards. Big thank you to Nicole Perry and the entire team at the F1 Arcade. Shout out to Casey and Owen. They were fantastic. It was an amazing experience. We are working to do it again. I love when we have successes at this company, okay? Peeling back a little bit of the curtain here, the things we are able to do may look like sunshine and rainbows to a lot of people. It may look like the coolest thing in the world. Let me tell you, there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of long nights, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of hours put into a lot of the things that we do. And when we are able to successfully accomplish them and get them off without a cinch, I'm super proud. You know, Casey and Owen have evolved into two of the more important creators at this company for me, and they are tentpole creators. They are tentpole personalities. And to be able to pull off a live event like that, to be able to full-blown, like, have an event in a place in Philadelphia who recognize our brand, people recognize Casey and Owen, that is why we do this. It's to build up our creators, build up our brands, make the franchises that our creators build from the ground up uberly successful, and then turn this into our full-time career. That is the ultimate goal here at Underground. That is what I want. I want to be doing Underground Sports Philadelphia as my career forever. That is my goal. I am trying to build this conglomerate, this UFO. We're trying to take it to the moon, okay? We want this starship flying. And when we have successful events like we had this weekend at the F1 Arcade, it reminds me that we're doing a lot of things right. It reminds me that people recognize the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears, the labor of love and the labor of grinding out long nights and hours and making things as perfect as possible so that we can continue doing things like that. And it's really fun seeing the accomplishments that we're able to pull off. And you know, Casey and Owen are truly the best, and I really want to work to get both of them on this show, do a little crossover episode, and really introduce them to you guys here on this show, because they are one of ones, and to see how passionate, you know, all the employees at the arcade were about having them there. I just got to sit back. I didn't even have to introduce myself as, like, the founder of the company, like, head of content, anything like that. I kind of just put on a brave face. Not even that I had to be brave. I just put on a mask and said, like, yeah, we're the production team for the pod. And nobody there knew I was, you know, the founder of Underground. And it was really cool to see everything go off without any type of, you know, bumps in the road, and I'm just super proud of those two. They are absolute rock stars, and Underground Circuit is something that I'm very passionate about and very thankful, you know, 3 years ago, just about Casey and Owen, you know, 3 seasons ago for F1, decided to take this journey, believe in what I had set out for this company, and they are truly the best. So I congratulate them, and here's to many, many, many more watch parties, many more live shows, and I just love when we have success here at this company. It is the best, and we got a lot of fun stuff planned upcoming, and I'm so stoked about it, guys. I can't even begin to tell you. Also, fun note here, on top of that, Harrison and I will be attending our very first union game together. Harrison and I are going to the U.S. Open Cup quarterfinal on Wednesday, August 13th at the Sub. Harrison and I have never been to a Union game. We have no idea what to expect. I've been to Subaru Park a multitude of times for the PLL championship games and one semifinal, and I have a semifinal coming up later this year at the Sub. But I've never been there as a fan for a Union game. I've never been there as media for a Union game. And I'm very excited to take it all in, especially against a deep rival in the New York Red Bulls in a tournament matchup, a quarterfinals, no less. It's going to be absolutely electric. We're going to be making content from the stands. We got some kick-ass seats as well. So you don't want to miss that. August 13th, Harrison and I take on the Sub, our first Union experience. Our first Union experience collectively. He's never been, I've never been, and I'm super excited about what's to come down at the Sub. And what also gets me excited about the Sub is Biñho. Our friends at Biñho. Guys, get your officially licensed Philadelphia Union Biñho boards. It's paper football meets foosball. You break that out of the tailgate, you're going to be the talk of the tailgate, okay? Who doesn't love being the talk of the tailgate, especially when it's in a positive light? Use our link in the description to shop with our friends at Biñho and get 10% off your next order when you use code BiñhoBennett62. That's code BiñhoBennett62 when you use our link in the description to shop with our friends at Biñho. And we thank Biñho for being a proud partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. And I thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I do apologize for the delay. I had a lot of things to take care of today. Being at Sunday Night Baseball and the Underground Circuit watch party drained me from just an exhausted standpoint. It was a long day, very much worth it, but I had to sleep. I had to catch up on some rest. I had to catch up on some other things that had to be taken care of here at Underground, but thank you for your patience. Thank you to Jhoan Duran is my hero. I love that guy. I can't wait for my next game, which will be Tuesday night. I'll be there against the Orioles, and hopefully Jhoan comes in to put on a show once again. But make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. We're on every social platform, so be sure to follow us at Underground PHI. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311, KBIZZLE11 on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the pod, subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for making this whole thing go, and it allows us to get that much closer to doing this full time. So keep subscribing. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Leave a like on the video. Drop a comment in the comment section. And click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. And as always, subscribe. We are 10 subscribers away from 1,100, which means we're 900 away from 2,000. So keep subscribing. YouTube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. And this show is proudly presented by the city of Vineland. And whether you are a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process, and their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. A big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been episode number 765, a Jimmy Rollins, Ed Wade appreciation episode, a Jhoan Duran, I love you episode, and a Pay Kyle Schwarber edition of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm your boy KB. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. But until then, I'm getting the heck up out of here, and I'm signing off. Peace!